Cross my heart, I'll hold you forever. I promise we never will part. With you, the trees in winter will look green to me. What you will mean to me can never be told. Cross my heart, your vision will guide me deep down here inside me.
What's up?
Excuse me. Excuse me, will you?
Nicholas.
Something wrong?
Excuse me, please. We're off Lisbon.
Lisbon? We're not supposed to stop there, are we?
I rather fancied we'd be getting some unexpected passengers aboard about now. Yes, I think added caution is indicated. The last 24 hours, they've undoubtedly discovered we're not on that plane, and we are on this ship.
Oh, those fellows, Kingston and Jerry, were outside the wireless room today. They said something about communicating with someone in authority. Could they?
Possibly. Nicholas, Dr. Watson and I are going on deck again. I'm rather anxious to see who's coming aboard. Lock the door, will you? And don't open it, except to Dr. Watson or myself.
Right. Going on deck, sir?
Yes, breath of fresh air.
I see, sir.
Holmes, did it occur to you that steward behaved rather suspiciously?
Quite. I understand we've stopped to take on some cargo.
Yes, 3 passengers.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, you startled me.
Hello? Do you see 3 men have come aboard?
So Miss Woodbridge just informed us. Lisbon, beautiful city. Too bad we shan't have a chance to pay it a visit. The Mar de Paya, the Castillo San Jorge, the cloisters of the Geronimos, Tower of Balaam. One of the most fascinating examples of Moorish architecture I've ever seen.
Good evening. Mr. Holmes, is it not?
Good evening. I'm afraid you have the advantage of me.
Oh, that's a prize of fame, Mr. Holmes.
Who on earth's that?
I don't know, but I've seen his face before somewhere. Mirko! I think, Watson, we'd better get back to your nephew. This way, it's quicker.
Who's there?
It's I, Holmes. Nicholas, I want you to move in with Dr. Watson until we reach our destination. Understand?
Certainly, Mr. Holmes.
I think you want to keep him under your eye.
I would, if it went for that. I think Nicholas will be safer in an inside cabin. A porthole opening onto the promenade deck is apt to offer too many temptations to the 3 gentlemen in the cabin opposite ours, or anyone else who might be interested. Yes?
Is there anything you require before retiring, sir?
Nothing, thank you, Sanford. Good night.
Good night, sir.
Holmes, I don't trust that fellow.
Yes? Oh, good morning, Sanford.
Good morning,
Down
sir.
over there, will you?
Breakfast will be served in half an hour.
Coffee. I don't see how you can drink the stuff. I never could stand it myself.
Everyone in my country drinks coffee.
My dear Nicholas, apparently you don't realize that it's tea that has made the British Empire, and Watson, what they are today.
Well, we're both in pretty good shape, aren't we?
I thought it was the playing fields of Eton that were responsible.
No. Only for the Battle of Waterloo. Scummy looking stuff even for coffee. Looks as if the cream had gone sour.
Don't drink it.
Why not?
What's wrong?
It's fortunate that you take cream with your coffee, Nicholas.
I don't understand.
It happens to be an idiosyncrasy of the cyanic acid group. It breaks up fat into globules.
Cyanic acid. Do you mean to say that Nicholas was almost poisoned under our very eyes?
If it hadn't been for the telltale appearance of the cream.
Cold-blooded murder.
Men who have engineered one assassination, Watson, will not stop at another.
I owe you my life, Mr. Holmes.
No, not me. Dr. Watson, with his keen sense of observation.
Oh, thank you, Holmes. Has it occurred to you that steward chap was the only one who knows that you and I take tea and he takes coffee?
You don't suppose Sheila?
Possibly. Poison is a woman's weapon.
A woman's weapon? That might include that Dunham woman, if she is a woman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we mustn't overlook that little bearded fellow and his goggle-eyed friend.
And don't forget the 3 charming gentlemen who came aboard last night. Good shot, Watson.
Oh, thanks, old fellow.
Was lucky, Dr. Watson.
Not luck. Skill, Mr. Murner.
Mirko, if you don't mind. M-I-R-K-O.
Oh, sorry, old bean.
Your turn, Mr. Holmes.
You've left your man unguarded.
I don't think so. It will be more difficult to take him off than it appears. Your turn, Mr. Gregor.
Oh, tough luck, partner.
Unfortunate.
And yet sometimes to leave a man unguarded may be a skillful trap for one's opponents.
You flatter me, Mr. Gregor. I'm not as clever a player as that.
You're too modest, Mr. Holmes.
Mirko is most accurate. Afraid I'm not giving him much help.
Are you conceding defeat then, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, certainly not. But one always prefers to win.
Even when the price of victory is too high?
Of course, that all depends on the price one's willing to pay.
Ah, well, that's it, Mr. Mirko. I'm afraid we're too good for you, old man.
Yes. Mr. Holmes and I shall have to stand the drinks.
Now, after your skillful playing, Mr. Mirko, I wouldn't think of penalizing you. The drink shall be on me.
You are a good loser, Mr. Holmes.
I suggest we all meet in the lounge after dinner.
Right.
Thank you for the game, gentlemen.
Pleasure was ours, Mr. Holmes.
Ah, now we can really see it. The Rock of Gibraltar. We'll be getting to the Mediterranean soon, Holmes.
Now that you have failed to warn Holmes off, our only safety lies in first eliminating him.
But Holmes is not our objective.
No, but he stands between us and our objective.
It seems such a pity to eliminate Sherlock Holmes. You may accuse me of being unduly tender-hearted, but to destroy so great a man in order to reach our target.
But a target we must reach before we arrive at Algiers.
There's still plenty of time. You're right, of course. I should like to have given Holmes a chance, but...
Good. Then tonight, it'll be done my way.
You really enjoy your work, don't you, Mirko? I promise you that Mirko is more than competent. We cannot afford to take chances. And Nicholas must be disposed of before we reach Algiers. That's because you don't know Mirko. I've used him before, and I promise you, he never fails. Because your strong-arm methods are apt to be too noisy. With Mirko, it's swift and silent. Understand?
Satisfied?
I'm sure Mr. Gubeck is convinced. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening.
Mr. Mirko insists that the losers pay off the bet.
Oh, delighted. Won't you sit down? What do you have?
A brandy, I think.
Brandy.
A whiskey and soda for me.
Stuart, whiskey and soda and 3 brandies, please.
Penalty for losing the game.
No ice in mine for Stuart. I can't think why they ruin good whiskey by putting ice in it.
You see, Mr. Holmes, losing the game always carries a penalty, sometimes greater than others.
Well, if one isn't willing to pay the penalty, one shouldn't play the game.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you.
Your health and long life.
Thank you.
I think I'll turn in now.
Oh, what happened to your charming companion?
She said she had a headache and went to her cabin.
I think it's time we all turned in. Gentlemen, I bid you good night.
10:20. Huh? That's a good idea.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night, gentlemen.
Sit down. There's no hurry.
It's over by now.
My dear Mirko, try to cultivate patience. It's so much safer. Stand out the light.
I promise you I shall not fail.
How unfortunate, Mr. Mirko. These porthole covers are notoriously treacherous. I'm afraid you've broken your wrist.
You pig!
You shouldn't have played shuffleboard today, you know. When I saw that skillful hand on an unerringly accurate eye of yours, I remembered the circus of Medrano in Paris and your amazing exhibition of knife throwing. Good night.
Oh, good morning, Mr. Holmes.
Oh, there you are.
Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Gregor. I heard of your friend's unfortunate accident. Will you please convey my sympathy?
It may take a long time to heal. You'll have to have patience, you know.
I was explaining the advantage of patience to Mr. Mirko only last night. Now, I am a very patient man myself, and I always believe the result well worth waiting for. Don't you agree, Mr. Holmes?
Patience has advantages under certain conditions.
We are in accord, Mr. Holmes.
Yes, aren't we?
That fellow Mirko said he slipped and fell down while walking around the deck at 3 o'clock in the morning. Huh. Drunk, most probably.
Possibly.
He's got a nasty fracture. Took me over an hour to set. Never got to sleep again.
That's regrettable. Too bad you couldn't blame it on your insomnia.
Insomnia? You know I always sleep like a top.
I don't think either of us is going to get much sleep tonight.
Oh, you mean that woman's party? Silly creature. What on earth do you want to give a party for?
I wasn't referring to Miss Dunham's party, Watson. Deadly as that will undoubtedly be. No. This is the last opportunity our three friends will have to prevent our successfully carrying out our mission. We arrive at Algiers late tonight.
Good morning, my dear.
I should say the young lady isn't looking forward to arriving in Algiers with any very great pleasure. Have you noticed, Watson, She hasn't let our music case out of her sight since our first meeting.
Well, now that you mention it, yes.
I want you to ask her to sing Flow Gently, Sweet Afton, if she makes some excuse.